What are you talking about?
Security knows. Find them and turn them all off. I can't get out until that happens. Cassie, stay away from that thing. It's sending out some sort of distress signal. The M.X.E.S. security program was designed to keep it hidden. Shut it all down.
My everything's back yet. I got your message.
Shut it all down. Please help me. It's been so long.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Bon Jonesy, and it seems you all missed something important in Ruin, so it's up to me to prove it. In this series of mine, spanning 10 episodes each, I'll not just reveal some interesting things in Ruin, but I'll prove its validity, and believe me, Ruin is hiding some interesting revelations about the lore and much, much more. With the last 3 episodes covering what's been going on with our 2 bunny antagonists in Ruin, it's about time we talked about our newest addition to the list of rabbit characters in the franchise, M.X.E.S. After the release of the highly praised DLC, we were introduced to 5, technically 6 new characters. The FNaF community has embraced Cassie as a beloved protagonist, pondered Helpy's oddities, debated the mimic's existence, speculated on Glamrock's Bonnie's disappearance, enjoyed the daycare attendant's new personality in Eclipse, and loved the design and misunderstood nature of M.X.E.S. However, unlike the rest, the creator of M.X.E.S., or more accurately, the M.X.E.S.security program, is more theorized and discussed than the character itself, which even I was guilty of because of Gregory's clean and simple explanation of M.X.E.S.
The M.X.E.S.security program was designed to keep it hidden.
M.X.E.S. was designed to keep the mimic hidden, and then Cassie turned it off. See? Nothing else to talk about here. At least that's what I thought until I looked deeper at the new digital bunny in the series, and stumbled upon a rabbit hole. M.X.E.S. When we all first caught a glimpse of him at the end of the Ruin trailer, many of us speculated that he could be a new design of Glitch Trap. It makes sense when you consider that Glitch Trap hasn't truly made a new appearance in the new game since Help Wanted. The fact that this new character was also a glitchy digital rabbit, complete with a purple and green color scheme, and glitches and screen tears appearing alongside him, just like the Glitch Trap amalgam we see in Princess Quest 1, just made it easier to come to that conclusion. Yet as we all know now, M.X.E.S. is not our glitchy malicious rabbit. In fact, he might not even be a rabbit at all. When you look at and contrast his appearance with the other rabbit characters in the series, you will notice some important but subtle differences in his design. He has prominent cheekbones, narrow ears, a more angular face, and a more elongated snout typically associated with canine characters Pigpatch and Monty. This design philosophy can even be seen in his more drastic and horror-inspiring beta design, and the many security nodes we come across in the Ruin Pizza-Flex. So this unusual rabbit design is intentional, at least by the modelers and artists at Steel Wool. But what is this design philosophy that our sneaky and clever devs seem to be following? That, I believe, is the aesthetics of a hare, not a rabbit. For those of you like me who didn't know there was a difference or thought they were just different names for the same animal, let me save you a couple of Google searches. Hares and rabbits are both in the family Leporidae, but they're separate species. Hares are larger than rabbits and have longer faces, legs, and ears, which are more pointed. They also tend to live alone or in pairs in above-ground nests, whereas rabbits often live together in groups of up to 20 in a network of interconnected burrows known as warrens. The rabbit hole I stumbled upon might actually be a hare's nest. A rather deep one, I might say. There's a lot there to compare here to our current situation within the games, but this is all just an interesting characteristic of his design. None of it is telling us how he's more than a security program. For that, we need to go deeper. Let's move on to the character's nature. Nature? It's just a security program, is what you're probably saying or thinking. I thought so too, and we're both not wrong to think that. It's what we've been told by the game via Gregory. However, since when did security programs scream? Yes, scream. There is, oddly, a persistent ambient sound coming from M.X.E.S. himself throughout the Ruin. This sound is only heard clearly when you are close to him. It resembles a scream that one might make when their throat is dry and their voice is raspy. The sound is played continuously in an endless loop, yet M.X.E.S. himself shows no sign of discomfort or pain, despite this sound coming from him. Yet this is just one of 2 examples in which we can hear a scream coming from M.X.E.S. in Ruin. Tell me, do you remember hearing it? That horrible digital scream? A sound that's made when something alive is being seriously hurt or is experiencing intense pain. The moment this scream happens is in Monty Catwalks when both Glitchtrap, through Help Me, and the Mimic create a signal jammer to prevent M.X.E.S. from stopping Cassie in the AR world.
What happened to it?
Honestly, it's a wonder how something like that is brushed past without second thought by the many people I watch play through the game. Though, I'm not one to talk, as I certainly did just that when that scene came up and went by, as I got distracted by the interesting things that were revealed later in the DLC. But in hindsight, maybe it's because we don't actually hear the screaming that well, but instead read about it, as the only way we can tell it's a scream is by the game's caption telling us that M.X.E.S. is screaming. But now that I refresh your memories, I'm sure this particular question has popped up in your head. Is M.X.E.S. alive? That is a difficult question to ask, but one that can be answered if we tackle it from a different angle. What is he? That can be answered quite simply by looking at 2 sources that come from Ruin and Help Wanted respectfully. Helpy and Hand Unit. Helpy describes it perfectly the first time he appears in a DLC as an anomalous entity. Hand Unit, on the other hand, describes what he is exactly as per Help Wanted liability claims.
Manifestations of digital characters, nightmares.
Digital entity. He is a digital entity that manifested through the M.X.E.S.security program. But how do we know he's alive? Or consciously aware, to be a little more specific? For that, we'll have to go deeper. So, M.X.E.S. is a digital entity manifested through a program. Huh, that sounds a lot like the origins of a certain digital anomaly that appeared in Help Wanted. Speaking of Glitchtrap, M.X.E.S. is the second digital entity that has appeared in the games after him. Is there some connection between 2 of them? Yes. Plenty of them, in fact. Like their differences. For those of you who remember the rule of color theory from the Glitchtrap video, and for those that don't, click here to watch the shorts about it. I found something interesting about it in relation to M.X.E.S. M.X.E.S. colors are blue and white, or midnight blue and white. Now, don't mistake this for me saying that M.X.E.S. is related to Michael Afton in some capacity. I'm not. All that I'm saying is that whenever the entity shows up, it is surrounded by blue cubes with white lines in them, meaning those are his colors. But if that's true, then why do purple and green show up in M.X.E.S. jump scares? A good question, one that would have been left unanswered and abandoned in the pile of confusion if it wasn't for last episode revelation regarding the security mask. Always remember that the digital wonderland that is the AR world is greatly controlled and influenced by Glitchtrap. With the security mask, he can deceive victims by tricking what they see through the mask's eye screens, as the security mask is actually a VR device, meaning victims never see the true real world while wearing it, but a digital replica of it that Glitchtrap can manipulate to his benefit. So when a jump scare happens within Ruin, we are literally seeing what Cassie sees through the mask, M.X.E.S. temporarily tearing through Glitchtrap's illusion of the digital real world and getting inside the security mask itself. Because the mask is connected to the Vanny network, a sub-network that's connected to the Piece-of-Play's main network, which contains Glitchtrap. Yet it's also a place that M.X.E.S., both the machine, the security nodes tied to it, and the entity that spawns from it are also bound to. But what about their similarities? Let's take another look at M.X.E.S., but this time in comparison to Glitchtrap, and focusing on their designs despite their distinct appearances. At first glance, they may seem unlike each other, but both share a notable feature: their open-mouthed smiles. Glitchtrap's unchanging smile is because he mimics someone in a mascot costume with a frozen expression, but M.X.E.S. doesn't have that excuse, So why does he always have that open mouth smile? That's not true. M.X.E.S. closes his mouth at some points in the DLC, you might say or think. Well, you remember wrong. And that's all due to perspective, and M.X.E.S. never fully closes his mouth. Let's continue this comparison as further inspecting their faces reveals another connection. Tear stains. Although M.X.E.S. doesn't extend as far as Glitchtrap's, the resemblance to Glitchtrap tear stains as seen in his different forms is significant. Next, let's switch M.X.E.S. final design with his old beta design and compare it with Glitchtrap. Now what can you see? It's their design again. They're both anthropomorphic bunny men. Which, speaking of, any perceived chattiness, handsomeness, or general attractiveness is only a coincidence. It speaks a lot about the viewer's poor state of mind. Anthropomorphism essentially means applying human-like characteristics or traits to animals or inanimate things. Basically, the Paper Pals are every single last animatronic in the series. Yes, even trash in the game. But didn't I mention earlier that M.X.E.S. design-wise is that of a hare? Yes, I did. But that doesn't mean he can't also share design elements of a man too. M.X.E.S. is based on a hare bunny man. Glitchtrap is based on a rabbit bunny man. Hares are bigger. And listen, many people don't realize this considering we're playing Ruin through Cassie's point of view, but M.X.E.S. is huge. I'm talking taller than a Mimic, who already stands at 7 feet tall. Not to mention, he's also wider too. Maybe even a little bit wider than Glamrock Freddy and Monty. And when creatures are bigger, it generally means they're stronger too. So when it comes to the two digital entities, control over the network is what signifies power. Before the events of Ruin, Glitchtrap ruled the Pizza network like a king, using it to dominate the various machines and surveil his underlings and victims. However, as Cassie tampers with the security nodes, M.X.E.S. quickly takes control of the network, usurping Glitchtrap's authority. M.X.E.S. hijacked the security protocols away from Glitchtrap. That is the system that controls the security of the entire Pizzaplex, the very thing that the staff bots are connected to and used to alert the animatronics, which are all connected to it. It's the many cameras that Gregory, Glitchtrap, and Cassie use in both Security Breach and Ruin.
You can now activate security protocols. Your fast watch is now connected to the security camera system.
When Glitchtrap and the Mimic attempt to outplay M.X.E.S. by using a signal jammer, M.X.E.S. sees that, takes that, and flips that idea to be used against Cassie, revealing his ability to think and adapt. Throughout Ruin, M.X.E.S. outmaneuvers both digital adversaries, proving itself to be a formidable force within the network. Clearly, M.X.E.S. is no ordinary security program. It's a powerful entity in its own right. And there's a reason for that. A reason that Glitchtrap and the Mimic were having so much trouble dealing with M.X.E.S. It all ties back to the previous discussion between hares and rabbits. Same family, different distinct species. M.X.E.S. is alive and consciously aware because it's a Mimic. So, are M.X.E.S. and Glitchtrap brothers? Not quite, more like distant relatives. Glitchtrap is the offspring, not the ancestor of the Mimic programming lineage. That title belongs solely to the original Mimic. M.X.E.S. shows no signs of Glitchtrap heritage, lacking any purple colorization, except for his machine that appears purple with purple lines in the AR world, which can be explained as due to its connection to the affected Pizzaplex network. Additionally, he exhibits no traits of the Mimic, such as orange eyes or even a hint of orange. Interestingly, the M.X.E.S. machine glows orange even when turned off. Apart, these two things don't mean much, but together help hint at M.X.E.S. connection to both current representatives of these colors. But if M.X.E.S. doesn't originate from Glitchtrap's programming, why does he resemble Glitchtrap? This question is complex, but an unexpected source in Helpy provides a possible hint. Here, Helpy firmly labels M.X.E.S. as an antivirus program. This rings true, as advanced malware protection software is listed on their security programs nowadays. However, I believe there's more to M.X.E.S. than being classified as a security program. It seems more like a security program attached to a security appliance. This helps explain why there's a machine in the sinkhole capable of toggling mixes on and off. As for the difference between the two, a security program is software that can be installed on devices or nodes across a network, while a security appliance is a device or server that blocks unwanted traffic in a network. This doesn't sound like the M.X.E.S. machine until you discover a specific type of security appliance known as Unified Threat Management. This device manages various functions, including antivirus protection and intrusion detection and prevention. As for the machine in the sinkhole, it can be either a device or a server, or possibly both given its size. But let's revisit Helpy's comment about antivirus programs in the context of the ruined Pizzaplex. He referred to multiple antiviruses, yet M.X.E.S. is the only one seen, and there's no evidence of any antivirus programs active in ruin or security breach. Typically, businesses will install antivirus software to protect their systems right from the start. But if Fazbear Entertainment didn't, the retro CDs from Security Breach reveal that the Pizzaplex has faced hacks and viruses before, specifically involving an infected Gregory.
Well, the techs are convinced that you've hacked into their system many times.
So if not from the start, Fazbear Entertainment would have antivirus measures in place after that incident. Yet, with M.X.E.S. being unknown to Helpy, any antivirus programs should have blocked or attempted to intervene against them. However, this didn't happen. Thus, it's likely that antivirus programs are no longer present in the Pizzaplex. Additionally, Glitchtrap is often described as a virus.
It also means that this anomaly, this virus, or whatever it is,
which implies that he will be treated like one when infecting a system with an antivirus defense. If Glitchtrap is still active in the Pizzaplex, it indicates that he must have already neutralized or compromised those antivirus programs, similar to what he did to Helpy. M.X.E.S., like other security programs, will constantly operate in the background, monitoring the network for threats and any potential breaches, meaning it would have tracked Glitchtrap's activities. M.X.E.S., like any mimic, would absorb data and learn to replicate aspects of Glitchtrap's behavior, ultimately adopting a bunny-like appearance that loosely mirrors its most significant data input, like Glitchtrap with William Afton, a mimic mimicking mimic. So when Glitchtrap eventually noticed and tried to eliminate M.X.E.S., which we can assume thanks to these broken nodes, he met his perfect countermeasure, an anti-malware. Even the eerie screams coming from M.X.E.S. could be a result of it mimicking the ambient noise of the AR environment while it continues its surveillance. In summary, M.X.E.S. stands as the ultimate security against both digital threats, leaving Glitchtrap powerless against it and the mimic sealed.
Gregory, I got your message.
Weird.
Till Cassie arrives at the ruined Pizzaplex. In the previous videos, I told you the roles of the three villains in Ruin, but now it's time to address the true role of our protagonist, Cassie. In the grand scheme, she serves as a pawn, a small chess piece exploited by Glitchtrap and Vanny to achieve his goals, by the Mimic to escape the sinkhole, and by all to disable M.X.E.S. without true regard for her well-being. M.X.E.S. is powerful, but Glitchtrap is cunning. Despite M.X.E.S.'s power over the network, there was a critical flaw in his programming that Glitchtrap took advantage of, one that his creator couldn't have possibly anticipated. Yes, it's time to discuss who created M.X.E.S. Understanding who created M.X.E.S. is essential, and Gregory's reveal of his purpose in the elevator ending helps with that.
The M.X.E.S. security program was designed to keep it hidden.
Keep the Mimic hidden. In other words, keep the Mimic sealed, as there has been no mentioning of M.X.E.S. attacking anyone for discussing the Mimic, only attacking when somebody is breaching the nodes. This is supported by numerous security nodes placed throughout the Pizzaplex, which all must be deactivated to unlock the blast door covering the M.X.E.S. prison. Thus, Gregory's statement is factually true. Yet this leads to a question that the FNaF community has been debating about. Is Burntrap the Mimic? Honestly, to me, this seems like a pretty open and closed case. Burntrap's endoskeleton is distinct and different from the Mimic's. Not to mention, characterized by purple eyes, a clear indication of Glitchtrap inhabiting a further decayed Springtrap animatronic, let alone their physical movements. But if ignoring that, let's use what I've been highlighting in my last two videos about Glitchtrap. His MO, his modus operandi, meaning particular behavior traits. Burntrap, like Glitchtrap, employs hacking and manipulation from afar as seen in his intro and ensuing fight, while the Mimic relies on brute strength and immediate confrontation, as seen in his attack on Cassie, and if unable to, will use trickery until it can. Despite some hacking ability, the Mimic's primary tactic is not control. Now, let's use what we learned so far in this video. With M.X.E.S. design to seal the Mimic, the Burntrap boss fight, if he's the Mimic, would have completely changed. M.X.E.S. would have intervened and initiated security protocols over the shattered Glamrocks, subduing or resealing the Mimic. The absence of M.X.E.S. during this fight indicates that Burntrap possesses no threat to his primary objective. As for the theory that Gregory and Vanessa created M.X.E.S. post-security breach, recall the first episode. The Princ quest ending isn't canon. With Vanny and other dangers still lurking in the ruined Pizza-plex, Gregory couldn't have safely built such a complex system or placed the security nodes there. In conclusion, Burntrap and the Mimic are not the same, and the purpose of M.X.E.S. reinforces this difference, as its creator left the M.X.E.S. machine, the Mimic, and the sinkhole knowing that the best security would keep the Mimic hidden, revealing something incredibly crucial about the creator. They never took into account Glitchtrap's existence. In this video, I've hammered into your skull that M.X.E.S. is far superior to Glitchtrap and the Mimic in the network. Yet a key question should have been brewing in your head. If M.X.E.S. is so powerful, why doesn't he deal with Glitchtrap? The answer lies in M.X.E.S.'s purpose, to keep the Mimic hidden and secured. In creating M.X.E.S., the creator wasn't focused on a security breach by digital entities, but on a living physical threat, a hacker. This is why M.X.E.S. isn't actively searching for Glitchtrap, it's looking for you. That's why the creator purposely made the security nodes only accessible through high-level fast technician equipment. You need the fast wrench and the security mask, because the creator was smart about this, which you see by their placement of the security nodes, hitting every single Glamrock attraction and the Superstar Daycare specifically because of the security protocols. The creator designed M.X.E.S. with those protocols in mind, so if a hacker breached the nodes, M.X.E.S. would bring the full might of the Pizza-plex down on that hacker. Virus? Same thing, except M.X.E.S. would have done it himself. But I'm sure you're all starting to realize the flaw and how Glitchtrap outsmarts his fellow digital entity. M.X.E.S. will overlook Glitchtrap as a virus as long as he doesn't attempt to hack him, the machine, or the security nodes. This is why Glitchtrap and the Mimic can communicate with each other without worry, and why Glitchtrap uses Cassie as a pawn to always checkmate M.X.E.S. no matter which ending is chosen, leaving him free to reign over the network after ruin. Now, let's see who this mysterious creator of M.X.E.S. really is. The creator of M.X.E.S. absolutely worked for Fazbear Entertainment, as they had access to essential tools for security and permission to make Roxy a node. They was also around during the construction and completion of the Pizza-plex, meaning after help wanted, but before a security breach, to set up M.X.E.S. and the security nodes. As by the Tales book's last epilogue, that's when the Mimic would have been sealed as we see in Ruin. Finally, and most important of all, they had intensive knowledge of not just the programming of the Glamrocks to attach a node to Roxy, but of the Mimic program itself to create something that not only stonewalls the Mimic's attempt at hacking, but the hacking of a digital anomaly that they never knew existed, forcing Glitchtrap to use the Ruin plan rather than his usual tactics. Some say that Cassie's dad is the creator, yet I'm skeptical of that. I'm not against the idea, but I doubt Cassie's dad made M.X.E.S. He wouldn't know Roxy was her favorite until way after the Pizza-plex was open, and Cassie isn't as emotional about her dad's fast wrench if he was dead or missing. And finally, Scott is not one to focus on the family members of characters being important. What I mean by that is that he doesn't place importance on characters being related to each other as the focus of the story. Rather, he indirectly hints at it as a background detail, with a perfect example being Michael and William Afton. For me, the most plausible candidate is Edwin Murray. For those that don't know, he is the M.X.E.S. creator, as revealed in the Tales book. He fits all three criteria of being the creator of M.X.E.S., as the Tales book showed that he was part of the board of directors of Fazbear Entertainment when the Pizza Place was opened long before a security breach. Most importantly, as the creator of the M.X.E.S., he will have the knowledge, experience, and caution to program M.X.E.S. so it won't go rogue and cause more tragedy, just like his previous creation. However, he was 64 years old at the time and had health issues, but luckily was still able-minded about programming, specifically about the M.X.E.S., as shown in the story The Storyteller. So this can be the case of M.X.E.S. creation being a group effort rather than being a solo mission. But I won't be diving into Edwin Murray's story or fate in this video, and although the security program is turned off after Ruin, I got the feeling we'll be seeing M.X.E.S. again.
Cassie, there's still one node left.
Where?
Gregory! Why?
I'm so sorry, Roxanne. I'm sorry.
Cassie.